Today we are going to solve this problem using Prokon. If you have been following us, earlier on we had solved this problem manually by the method of virtual work. So if you look in our channel, you're going to see a video with this thumbnail. That's when we solved using the method of virtual work. But now we are going to solve using Prokon and we compare the answers. But before we do so, kindly make sure to subscribe in this channel and follow us in different social media platforms for online learning. So let's start off. The first thing first, you need to get the coordinates, because we know when we are in softwares we need to create this geometry. So here I've just shown the x and y coordinates starting at the lowest point A, left hand side. So this A is 0, 0, then B, because distance is 3 meters, you can see this 3, 0, C is 3, 2, and B is 1, 5, and so on and so forth. With these coordinates, and then you also given this data. Let me go back again. You're given the data that it's made of steel, so we know the material is steel, and this material steel have got Young's modulus of 200 GPa. So take that note of that. That's some data we need when we are modeling. And also the material have got a cross-sectional area of 600 millimeters squared. So that with material and geometry, we can be able to define the axial rigidity of the truss members. Good. Let's go to the software. You launch your Prokon. I know by now you were able to get this landing page, the Prokon calc pad. And we are going to do analysis. Remember, we are still in diffraction. We're going to do analysis of a frame. So you select the frame. If your software is a bit, if your computer is a bit, the specs are high, you'll be able to open very fast. Analysis, we are going to do a frame analysis. Okay, so you open frame analysis. Good. Now in the frame analysis, we just concerned with 2D, what we call a plane truss. So basically, we are looking at in the general settings here. There are a few things that you can set up. In the settings, we just want XY plane. So it's saying that it's going to switch from full 3D to 2D. We are not interested in the Z direction. Okay, you say okay, and then you select this viewpoint, and then you just say you want to see it orthogonal, and also you want to see it as if you are viewing from the Z direction, and you cross. That way it's oriented in this direction. But you can also use this orbit to keep orbit mode, to keep on rotating. But now I've set it to be in the X and Y, plane truss. Good. I go back to the inputs. Generals are there. I can call my truss T2 based on how you are, you are designing element in a structure. Maybe the way you have numbered your truss, this is the truss number 5, so it could be truss T5. Then add own weight to the load case. Remember, we don't want the self weight to be added, so we say do not add own weight. We are just doing analysis, we are not interested in design. And also from our problem, we are just giving the loading, no other information, so we don't want to complicate our issues. So with that, we come to the input. We have how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. Okay, remember we are referring to this. Okay, we have already sketched this. A, B, C, D, and then you input those geometry. So you have node 1. Here we don't say node A, it's node 1. This is the origin. X is 0, Y is 0. Then we say node 2. This is B. X is 1.5, Y is 2. Okay, if you zoom, you'll be able to see it here. Node 3, this is C. X is 3, Y is 2. And finally node 4, X is 3, Y is 0. Very easy. So you have defined the nodes. And then we want to connect this. So we come to beams. Beams just refer to connectivity of your members. How are they connected? So you say member 1 is connected to member 2. It's also connected to, it could go to member 3. Okay. So you see that's connected. And then we have a member 1 is connected to 4, is connected to 2. Okay. Remember this, if we are in design, I would be very careful. I would not like to name them. I would like to have this slant bars, because from my previous knowledge, I might know they might have the same load or axial force in them. So I might want to call them internal members and so on, because when I'm doing design, I want to optimize. I don't want to have the same cross section. But here we are so told all members have got the same cross section. That's why I am connecting so many members at the same time. Okay. So node release, we know they are pinned, and you see when you say pinned, you can see that. So pinned, this is a truss analysis. So you can even type, you can just say pinned, pinned. So all our nodes are pinned. Number 3, now we come to the support condition. Now before we come to beams, let's define our sections so that we can have the material and geometry defined. So let me just call them truss members, TM, because they have got the same cross section. So beam section designation, in Prokon we have a database that you can select, but I know I might not necessarily get a cross section with the section that I'm given, with the area that I'm given. But materials is already fixed, so it's steel. And if you want to know whether this will be steel, if you select, for example, steel 350, you can come here to materials database. You see 350 have got E of 200 E6, that is 200 gigapascal. So you could select either of these. Even you could select the others. As long as your E, Young's modulus, is the value that you want. Okay? So once you select that, this section, I could select any section, and then the beauty is that I can edit the area. For example, I can come a section and I say it's of course steel I section. Let me go with the rectangular hollow section of, what do I want? And why am I selecting this? Because I wanted to calculate for me automatically. I wanted to calculate the area. This area is very close, but I can edit it. 559 millimeters squared. I could just write 600. I could edit that. But you see, it had given me IXX because analysis will not run if you don't have the moment of inertia defined. But you see, we are able to edit these. Why did I select that? It was very near but for your case, you are not concerned much because you are not proceeding to design. At this stage, we are just doing analysis. So we have defined the steel we know is 200 GPa and area is 600. E raised to power negative 6 is the same as 600 millimeters raised squared. Good. We move to support. Support. We need to define support. And support are in node 1. No, they are in node 4, this point, and here. So they are in node 4 and also in node 5. In node 4, remember we are in a XY plane, 2D plane. So we fix X and Y. It's a pin connection. And also here 5 is a pinned connection. It means we are restraining X and Y direction, no motion, but it can rotate. Because it's a pin joint, it can rotate about the Z direction. The Z direction is the direction towards the paper, inside the paper. So it can rotate. So we have defined, no, this is node 4 and not 5, this is node 3. Okay, 3 and 4. And you can see, we are seeing the support, what have been, the reaction that you develop as shown there. Now, what else is remaining? The load. So we have a node load. We have one type of a load, we call it load case 1. As you proceed to design, you'll be knowing how to define different node cases, the dead and the life and all that. We just have one node case, and it's occurring at node 1, and it's acting downward in Y, so it's negative Y. Remember the sign convention here is that the positive Y is up, so negative Y is down. So PY, which is 5 kilonewtons. The units are given for you. And if you look at here, you can see minus 5 kilonewtons. Do you want me to surprise you? We are done with modeling. And I don't think you have taken 10 minutes. No. So you can move to analysis. But it's always good to check whether there is anything that may need to be Yeah, we are doing XY plane frame linear analysis. We are in the linear age. Leave the others to be the way it is. Then, so you can do the analysis. You can start, and the analysis is complete. Wow, how fast is that? And you can view output. Okay, my laptop is saying it's out of memory. Okay. But at least we can see maximum diffraction occurs for load case 1. You only have one type of load case at node 1. This node 1. And there's one that you are looking for downward, minus 0.54. And if you remember the example that we had, this one is available on YouTube. We were able to determine the load, the deflection as 0.537, which is 0.54, rounded off to 2 decimal places. Very accurate, even when we do it with the software. So it's as easy as that. You can follow. If there's somewhere you didn't understand, you can leave your comment. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share these videos, and follow us for more of such learning episode. Until the next video, is bye bye for now.